second of all is don't get naked. This is actually a shame because I have a huge vocabulary. I saw how the speakers went first, the first and the second in the introduction. I can see that they were a little bit stressed. I use a classic method to overcome my stress. It's to imagine that everyone is naked. Only you are not supposed to tell them when you're doing it. And you're not supposed to do it in a kindergarten. That's bad. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to teach you all how to make a slave. I quote the words of Willie Lynch, who was a slave trader in the West Indies. In 1712, he gave a speech in the Mississippi River of how to make a slave. He said, if you want to make a slave, start by his parents, and most especially his mother. When you put a slave in a field, surrounded by a crowd, you beat him, you burn him, you tie each end of his limbs to a horse and pull. You can get creative with it. It's not a method of punishment, because if you hurt the slave, there's nothing to gain from it. But you gain the fear of other slaves. When a mother sees that a slave for doing such a thing has been punished, she automatically tells her son or her daughter to not do the same. You put distrust in them, envy. The tall one is better than the short one. The short one is better than the tall one. The one who has a light skin is better than the dark skin. And of course, the dark skin is better than the light skin. They should trust nobody but you, because they are dangerous. Who knows, one day you're in your sleep and they'll sneak in and kill you in your own bed. Now that's just one example of how slaves were made. And it still applies till this day. I had an experience with it when I was young. You know, we all have that superstition that you're not supposed to pour hot water in the toilet or in the sink and all of that. Yeah, I know it's not true. My father knows it's not true. When I told my dad that I'm going to try it, he said, don't. Why? Because when he was young, he was told not to do it. And he didn't ask why. It was instilled in him not to ask that question why. There was an experiment where they put a group of monkeys, 5 monkeys, in a room. They hang bananas from the ceiling and put a ladder there. By instinct, each monkey tries to climb and get those bananas. So each time a single monkey climbs, they spray him with water and spray the rest of them. And they repeated that process until, at a certain point, they don't spray them with water. Each time a monkey climbs, the other monkeys beat him, because they know they will all get sprayed. They replaced one monkey. They put a new one who wasn't being sprayed with water. By instinct, of course, he climbed for the bananas and they beat him up. They kept the process of replacing the monkeys, and of course, each time a monkey tries to climb for the bananas, he gets beat up. Even though none of them has been sprayed by the water. They just found it that way. Those are the rules. That's their society. That's small society. And also another example of a man who owned a pet store. A customer walked in. He saw 3 little parrots, colorful.